really digging my look today. It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days where your skin looks good, your hair looks good, you feel good. It's just like, yes. Hi guys. So today I will be talking about the reasons why you shouldn't care what other people say or think about you. But before we get started, comment down below, how do you feel on this topic? Do you care what people think? Do you don't care what people think? Are you somewhere in the middle? But now let's get into this video. When I was little, and I think this goes to basically all kids, I didn't care. I could just run around and look how I looked and think what I think and think what I thought and not care what people say or what people think. First kind of memory I have of starting to be more conscious of what people say is I think when I was about 5 or 6, because that's the age where you slowly start to climb out of just being a little baby and develop your own personal thoughts and opinions. I do remember somehow inside of me that I became more conscious of what people think or say when I experienced judgment, right? Like many kids, when we experience judgment or kind of shame or any other negative emotion towards our just personal beliefs or thoughts, we kind of quickly can, not all kids, but I certainly did, quickly can realize that, oh, I guess it's better to do this or that so it doesn't anger other people or it doesn't create any kind of fights or disagreements. And I think what didn't make it easier is that the things that make me who I am today, the things that I am very confident about, were the things that made me stand out when I was little. Again, I was a dreamer, and I think that quality will lead me where I want to go. But when you're little, dreaming is considered to be a very childish activity. You're called naive, and a lot of my opinions and my dreams were kind of seen as not serious. And then, of course, came school. Listen, a lot of great things came from going into school. First of all, education, obviously. Understanding who you are and meeting my friends and so on and so forth. But let's just be real, okay? Kids are horrible. Just everyone knows that. Kids are they're bad. They're not cool. I experienced my share of I don't want to say bullying. I never experienced bullying like we know it, but just, nasty comments and nasty girls and just bad stuff. And when I saw that by being myself, I get all these, comments or thoughts or rumors or judgment, I became even more conscious of the fact that I don't want to feel that way and I don't want people to think this or that or say something. So I better fit in. I better do this. I better go with the flow, go with the norm. Then came status, money, looks, and before I knew it, opinions of others dictated how I felt about certain things. And with that being said, let's get into the 3 reasons why you should not care what other people say or think about you. Whew, I gotta get ready for this one. I'm ready. The first reason why you should not care is their thoughts, opinions, and actions are not about you. This was, I think, one of the biggest revelations that I had, and I'm kind of ashamed to say that I had it only recently. But then again, why should I be ashamed? I think it's good to come to this revelation in your early 20s. Am I in my early 20s or am I in my middle 20s? Okay, I'm approaching my middle 20s, but you get my point. I know it sounds kind of that makes no sense. But think about it. My opinions about other, circumstances, or let's say about other people, come from my own belief system about how a life should be lived. It has nothing to do with them. If a person has opinion about how you look, about how you dress, about what you say, what you think, It is about them. Really, really, really try to put this in your mind because it sounds simple, and it is, but it's also just so true, and it can change your perception and your quality of life so much. Let's be real. When we care about what other people say or think about us, it's because we think it affects us. We think, oh, you know, you don't like my dress. Oh, my dress is probably then ugly. No, they don't like that dress. You can wear the dress. Maybe not the best example, but you get it. The sooner you realize that those opinions are not about you, it gets so much easier. The second reason why you shouldn't care what other people say or think about you is because it takes up your mental space. Now, this is coming from a person who is constantly stuffing their mental space. I mean, a lot of things go in here, okay? If you care what other people think, you probably are the same way with your mental space. You are stuffing things in, like what that person said at that time 5 years ago, or what she thought about you 10 years ago. It's just unnecessary clutter. Think of your mental space as your house. Imagine that your house is filled not only with stuff, but filled with stuff that makes you feel bad. Filled with, let's say, stinky stuff, and filled with just slippery stuff, and you're just walking around your house and just falling down. Okay, my examples are kind of crazy, but you get my point. Imagine how it would feel to live in such a house. It's just messy. There is no room for breathing, room for relaxing, room for meeting your friends. Actually, I think it turned out to be a good analogy. I think I got my point across. When you realize that your mental space is precious, your time is precious, everything that you keep in your head is precious.
Susie, can I call you Susie? My name is Precious. I can't say that.
You realize that why would I keep this type of stuff in my head? Now, I sound like, you know, I got it all together when I'm saying this, but this is something I still struggle with. Very, very often I realize that I'm thinking about something that someone said years ago. I just go into this like deep journey where I even imagine what I would have said, and you know how it goes. Trust me, your mental space is more valuable than holding someone else's opinion about yourself in it. Trust me. Another water sip. And lastly, the third reason why you should not care what other people say or think about you is because you will become a slave to other people's opinions and very easily can lose your own identity and who you are. I cannot tell you how many things I discovered about myself, how better I started to feel when I started to actually listen and pay attention to the voice inside of me that tells me who I am as a person, as a woman, as a member of the society, whatever. And it's not easy to hear this voice at the start if you've been living your life in a way that you create your surroundings and your image and, you know, the actions that you participate in according to what is right and what is correct. I know this because I was a part of it for a long, long time. I can even give you one example, which is like a minor example, but about my master's degree. After I finished my bachelor's degree, I was very, very sure, I was kind of very vocal about it to, you know, some of my friends, my family, my teachers, that I'm going to study my master's degree. But why? Not because I wanted to study, you know, master's in a particular school or a particular subject, but because I had this thought in my head that you need to have master's degree to be a respectable, educated intellectual. That's it. And now listen, studying your master's degree is awesome. It is really, really cool if you want to do it. If you have found a subject that you like, or you just know that you will need it for something later. Listen, I'm all for education. I love growth. I love learning. But my reason was not a solid reason. It was a reason of how I will be looked at in society. And by the way, no one is saying that someone would actually see me as someone more valuable with that degree. Another fun fact, the minute you leave university, you realize how little the degree actually gives you in the professional life. You know what, that's another video, we can just talk about it different times, but my point is, I love growth. I love studying, and maybe someday I will study, you know, my master's. That is absolutely a possibility. But I'm just giving you this example to show you how a lot of these things, big things, little things, were dictated by my belief of what is good and what is correct and what other people think. It's the same with YouTube. It's the same with starting my channel. I didn't do it for so long because of what people would think, because of how I will look, because I don't have this or that, and you just become a slave to other people's opinions, and it is exhausting. It is horrible. It is just, you lose yourself, you lose your identity, and why? For what? You know, it's not worth it. That voice that tells you what to do and how to do is very, very strong. But slowly, step by step, the more you question it, the more you ask yourself, is this something that I want to do? Or is this something that I think I should do? And it's obviously not black and white. I think it's my favorite saying currently. I say this about a lot of things, but I really believe that most things in life are not black and white. There is middle ground. I think you can do something that is right and also your thing. You can find that. For this video's sake, I just want to inspire you to really, really listen to yourself. Stop caring what other people think. So that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. I just want to give a little shout out to each and every one of you who are watching me. You know, as of now, I have a really small channel. Every single day, I'm so grateful for the people who tune in, for the people who follow me, for the people who like my videos. I really, really appreciate you, and just know that you mean so much to me, so thank you so much. But for now, thanks again for watching. I hope you have a fantastic, beautiful week, and this week I challenge you to, with every single action that you take, ask yourself, is this something that is true to myself? Is this something that I want? Or is this about someone else? Really, really challenge yourself to not be affected by opinions of other people, and just trust your gut and listen to yourself. Thanks so much for watching, and bye.